Good afternoon, everyone. I am Neha Hussain, student of LLM second semester. My topic for presentation is Doctrine of Stare Decisis. So let's start with the presentation. Meaning, the principle of stare decisis originates from the Latin maxim stare decisis et non quota movere. It means to abide by things decided. The doctrine of stare decisis is used by all courts in all cases or legal issues. The doctrine of stare decisis means that the court refer to the previous similar legal issues to guide their decision. Such previous decisions that court refer to are known as precedents. Precedents are legal principles or rules that are created by the decisions given by the court. Such decisions become an authority or an example for the judge to guide similar legal cases or issues in the future. The doctrine of stare decisis creates an obligation on court to refer to precedents when taking a certain decision. Objectives of the doctrine: to maintain certainty, stability, consistency in the legal system, to reduce the burden of the court, to avoid the confusion, uncertainty, and to subserve the ends of justice. There are some exceptions to this rule as well. First exception is per incurium, and second is rule of sub silentio. If a decision has been given in ignorance of law or any statute or any binding authority, the doctrine of per incurium is attracted. The rule of sub silentio is applicable when a particular point of law is not perceived by the court or was not present to its mind or is not consciously determined by the court. Now let's talk about the applicability of this doctrine in India. This doctrine of stare decisis did not exist in India during the ancient or medieval period. It was only during the advent of British rule in the country that the concept of binding precedent was introduced and applied in India. The Government of India Act 1935 distinctly made the decisions of the Federal Court and Privy Council binding on all courts in British India, and in this way the doctrine of stare decisis gained statutory recognition in India. However, the Federal Court were not bound by their own decision. Post independence, the doctrine of precedent continues to be followed in India as per Article 141 of the Constitution. Article 141 of the Constitution provides that the law declared by the Supreme Court of India is binding on all courts within the territory of India. However, the Supreme Court is now not bound by its own decisions. There are two parts of a judgment or a judicial precedent. One is ratio decidendi and another is obiter dicta. Ratio decidendi of a case shall be binding and not the obiter dicta or the facts of the case. Thus, whenever a lower court wants to follow or apply the decision of a Supreme Court, the law laid down by the apex court in such a decision must be interpreted correctly in the case at hand. Now let's discuss some case laws related to this doctrine of stare decisis. First is the Bengal Immunity Company versus State of Bihar. It was held in this case that there is nothing in the Indian Constitution that prevents the Supreme Court from overruling the previous decision if there is any errors or its beneficial effect on the general interest of the public. It is next case is a very famous case, Vaman Rao versus Union of India. It was held by the Supreme Court in this case that it is sufficient for invoking the rule of stare decisis that a certain decision was arrived at or on a question that arose or was argued, no matter on what reason the decision was pronounced. In other words, to apply the rule of stare decisis, it is unnecessary to inquire or determine as to what was the rationale of the earlier decision, which is said to be operate as a stare decisis. Next case is Shankar Raju versus Union of India. In this case, the Supreme Court discussed the doctrine of stare decisis and held as follows that this doctrine is expressed in the maxim stare decisis et non quota movere, which means to stand by decisions and not to disturb what is settled. The underlying logic of this doctrine is to maintain consistency and avoid uncertainty. The doctrine shall not be disturbed only because another view is possible. And the last case is Narinder Singh and others versus State of Punjab. It In this case, it was held that the law declared by this court in the form of judgment becomes a binding precedent for the High Court and the subordinate court to follow under Article 141 of the Constitution of India. Stare decisis the fundamental principle of judicial decision making, which requires certainty too in law, so that in a given set of facts, the course of action which the law shall take is discernible and predictable. Unless that is achieved, the very doctrine of stare decisis will lose its significance. The related objective of the doctrine of stare decisis is to put a curb on the personal preferences and priors of individual judges. So this was my presentation. Thank you very much.